Hi everyone, we're going to do a video today on the Akai MPC Live and the MIDI mapping and MIDI learning capabilities, which was released in a couple of previous firmware updates on this. But more importantly, what I wanted to show you guys is how we can actually make this use in a performance and how we can make that work for us using the strengths of the MPC. What I mean is the MPC itself is an 8-track audio, 8-track MIDI, plus it has drum programs and has clip programs. If we combine all of those 4 elements together, we're going to need to use something else to help it because there's not enough pads here, there's not enough screen. You have to keep changing screens in a performance, which it's possible to do. But if we can set up something like a MIDI controller here and we're able to map faders and pads to help us so that we can stay in screens, then it's really going to be helpful for us. So what we want to do first is, I think in this particular track, which I've set up, it's called circuitry, I'm going to leave it on the clips page here because that way I can launch clips, and these clips have also been sequenced. What also we're going to do is we're going to map the faders to each one. So you've got your faders here, across here, and these pads I'm going to map to mute the drum program, so I don't need to go into the drum program. Now, it's really easy to map a MIDI controller. All you need to do is go to menu and tap on MIDI control here, and basically you click on, so you tap on the MIDI learn part here, so do that. And as you can see, I've already pre-prepared this, but I'm going to show you how I did it anyway. So the first thing I did was I mapped all of these 8 faders to each one of my audio tracks in here. And I literally just did it like this. So you go to the source, which is your track name, and I'm mapping it to volume. And this particular setting, sometimes it needs to be different. So let's have a look. If we click on learn, if I adjust any of, see this row here across the top, watch that data column, which is that one there. And I'm just going to zoom in so you can just, we don't need to see the sliders being moved. That's enough for you guys. You'll be able to see me move these 2 sliders here on the left. If I move the left one, you'll see that data column there change to 77. If I move this next one in, it will change to 78. So obviously we want that one to be 77. And then you move down to the next row, that one to be 78, and so on and so on and so on. So that's how you do all of your sliders. So we don't need to go through all of those. Turn and learn off. Now the next part is I want to map the drum pads. Okay, so let's zoom out. 1 to 8, 9 to 16, right? Now what we're going to do is, in the drum program, which is here, we've got 16 pads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Okay, so they're my 16 pads here. But what I want is I want them to be a mute because I've already sequenced my drums, right? And in a performance, what I want to do is I just want to mute them. Go back to MIDI learn there, and what we're going to do is we're going to set it as a toggle button. So you can see here, pad A1, it's on the drum program, and it says here RANS Kit 2, and I've just got pad mute and it's a toggle button. If we hit play, I'm going to turn all our sliders down so we're not hearing any audio tracks. Now, if I toggle this pad, it should mute the kick. Ready? Okay, so that's so easy to do. And the cool thing about that learn feature is you can have pretty much any MIDI controller, and on your sequence, on your program that you've got, you can map it. I've chosen the launch control just for this one, but we can We can try other things out later. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our main menu. We're going to go and we're going to launch the track. Now we've got it playing. Now this is just basic track here. We can now in here, now that I've got all those audio tracks and drum pads controlled, I can launch clips. Okay, so I can literally get that whole track going just from one sequence by controlling clips, by controlling audio tracks and drum tracks. And if I want to, I can set out some MIDI gear and plug that into a mixer, and I can control that too. And what you can do is you can go between clips on the screen here, and then you can also go between track mute too, which is handy because they're your MIDI tracks there. So you can toggle between the two. Boom, it's just a couple of key presses. But I would probably have another pad over here that controls the MIDI track muting, and then you've got complete control. And let's have a look at this one. We can delete those sequences. So we can delete those sequences so it just plays that. So that's track 10. So I probably want to have control over that track over here. So let's change that in our MIDI mapping. So let's go to track. Let's change this one. This one here. Let's change that to that one there, and the target will be volume. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, now we're controlling it. There we go. And we've got control over that bass drum still. Beautiful. So let's go back to our clips. So we can launch clips. So I'm getting a little bit lost about what clips are launching what. So you can find out what your clips are by going to your program edit. Okay, so I've got snare and cymbal up there. So these are the only pads that I need to use. Okay, we've also got another audio track which has been muted, so that's this one. We need to turn that mute back on because I can control this from here. That's better. Complete control. And as you can see, that took literally a few seconds to set up, just to making sure you've got the right gear. Now, I'm not saying that the launch control is the best thing out there. There's actually other gear. I also like this, which is the Akai APC Mini. This has also got faders, and this has got a lot more pads. You might have noticed in this video I didn't use any of the pan controls or anything like that. So this actually may be even better to use. This has been made specifically for Ableton Live, and I actually don't get any visual feedback on these pads, and neither do I with these either. But because there's so many pads on here, I can actually get lost in finding what's working and what's not. So when you're toggling a pad on here, and even on here, I can't see it turned on. So that's a negative. All we have to do is find a MIDI controller that's got a generic pad with a toggle and sliders and in a bit more of a smaller form factor, not a massive keyboard. I've got those as well. And we're probably going to be kicking and dancing. But I believe that with the launch control, there are user programs that we can set up with this. And I need to do some more investigating, but there might be a way that we can get this to work with the user programs. I don't know if it's all Ableton only, but we'll see. There's plenty of people out there who have hacked into these, and we can see what we can go. But anyway, as you can see, launching clips, which is a very, very handy part of the new features now of the latest firmware 2.4, is being able to launch clips, and you can change screens when you're launching clips now, and it doesn't get lost. You can't change sequences when you're launching clips. It will, at the next start of the next sequence, it'll, revert back to whatever was sequenced in there. So there's a performance overview of how to do the MIDI mapping and use it in a performance mode. And you can see that there's so much more control now over the MPC Live because there's just not enough stuff happening here. And I haven't even used Q-Links. There's so many more things that I could have done. Haven't plugged MIDI gear in here. This is a really, really big and powerful machine now with all the new software and firmware updates it's got. And all you've got to do is just record your clips, your drums, your audio tracks in here, and you've got all of that control now. And you can bring elements in and out. And I haven't, in that last part, I didn't even change the sequence. It's the same sequence. Made the drums sound different, turned off elements. It's really, really big. I hope you guys like that. Let me know if you want me to try something else out on here. If you like the way I show things, and give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos. See you later.